see.
Thank you.
Both regions has won twice.
Thank
so
you.
this match right here will determine who gets the third victory for their region. Big stakes.
Absolutely huge stakes. Every single team spends an entire year or longer working towards this moment. I want a good match. We don't control that.
No.
The teams do. So, on that note, TSM versus Team Empire. Map number 1 is a best of 5. No bells, no whistles, no advantages. Just two incredible teams going head to head. Empire gets this very first map. Set the stage for me. What do we expect going in with Empire getting the very first pick on their map choice?
So Empire, obviously, they have to show up massive, right? Because the one advantage that they actually got from being in that has not shown up so far at this Invitationals in terms of individuality.
All right, well, let's get back underway. It seems like the teams have got their lineups locked and loaded. Once again, back downstairs. If you are new to Rainbow Six, you might not know how the rehost rules work. You got to run with the same operators on both attack and defense, and you got to go to the same bomb site, which means if it goes deep into a round, you can see attacking teams actually get map control faster. This was something that you and I saw when we were doing the FaZe Sonics match, was there was a rehost, and FaZe knew the entire layout of the defense. The Sonics knew where FaZe was going to be coming from, so both teams will have this mental one-upsmanship where they have to figure out, are they going to do the same thing? Are they going to do something different? Do we need to do the same thing? Do we need to do something different? In a lot of ways, it will ultimately end up being a new round. And I have no doubt with how little time it was into the previous round that it'll be the case here as well.
Yeah, I don't think anything was really given away. Perhaps you can argue that Team Empire might have seen the castle, they can guess the roam, and reinforcing both strip walls with a kite claw is something we do not see very often at all. So, but the extension speaks for itself. We're going up above, we're gonna get aggressive, we're going to challenge Team Empire in all these aspects, and basement bomb site is really the only one on Clubhouse where I think this really works. Normally on Clubhouse, the first room you enter, the madness starts, you start fighting each other. So extending out doesn't really work all that well because the bomb site is so easily accessible. But for the basement, of course, if you choose to, as TSM have, they can challenge Empire anywhere that they want.
Well, that's 30 seconds off the board. When we look at the operator lineups, there's nothing particularly weird about this one. A roam setup for TSM is very present. They've got all the tools to make that work. You've also got Empire running with a very standard composition. They love Dan on the Buck on this map. They love their double soft destruction in the Buck and the Sledge. And then, of course, you're going to have the dual hard breach coming in as well. The roam from TSM looks like it might have fallen off. That top floor was being held by them, but they have now scooted on down to the main floor. Bolo and Merc working together. I want to talk about Merc's growth for a second here. As IGL and as a gunner, and he takes out Dan. That's the very first kill. An easy interaction between these two teams, and it's already taken out one of those so crucial forces for Empire.
It is in Merc, so basically he was put onto this IGL leadership role, and normally you see that being done from the back, but Merc does it from the front with the aggression. With him being inside the map himself, he can lead his teammates forward and ask for resources. Right now it's Gio stuck inside a strip room, but Merc gets found out by Scyther. Evens it back to a 4 versus 4, but Gio is stuck inside a strip room, cannot get out, and has 1 HP left to his name.
Well, Gio needs to hang on. And Merc will be the one IGLing. As we said, moved onto this role, something that Pojo Man, Data, and also Gotcha, who's been helping the team Sammy recently. They've been emboldening Merc to make these calls. Now, that doesn't look like that was a Merc decision. Gio assesses it, takes out Scyther. The Maverick tortures Shepard inside a strip. Look at the time that they're wasting on Gio. There's still a minute to go. The man is essentially a phantom illusion. And even though they've opened it up, there you go. A grenade goes in, more time, 20 seconds since we started talking about this. They can leave him to wither because he's almost certainly unable to be picked back up.
Yeah.
Now you have to circle the wagons towards the bomb site and get in with such little time.
Yeah, they definitely know that he's injured. You know, they chose to leave him there. 35 seconds left or so. Joystick making his way down the main stairs, cutting off the rotation while Empire sets up their attack. But there's no Harpies besides the Maverick. It's going to be limited entry. Joystick has to do it all himself, just walking into side.
And there he is. He's found it, and he's assessing, hey, I've got a window in, but there were multiple calls and an assessment as well that We don't want him getting too close to the bomb site. Geo is down, still bleeding out, so it's a 3v2. As always, creeps up through dirt tunnel. Shepard finding a kill on Bolo means it's even numbers. Always presence announced, looks the wrong way, punished by Chala playing on boxes, and it's 50 HP as Shepard in the midst of the smoke. Banshee going away, but Achieved, who's been so good today already, gives TSM the very first round on Clubhouse.
That's gonna feel good if you're TSM. It's Empire's map pick. It's the one thing you could not really stop, and that is the first map that Empire wants to go on. The basement defense with the roam is the perfect situation for TSM to gain ground on this first map, but I have to fear a little bit for them once we go to Gym and CCTV, because that's not going to be as simple. Team Empire, they were met with two problems that round. The first one was that, well, they lost a hard breach on the ace. So that means that you're left only with the Maverick. There's almost no ways into the bomb site. There's no time to Maverick open two hatches, walk down bottom main, Maverick open the wall. It just doesn't work that way. And yes, they got the injure. Perhaps they didn't know. Oh, that drone actually there confirms it. They knew they had the injured down, waiting for it to bleed out. Then Joystick walks in through long, tries to find the opening, cannot find it. That just leaves TSM in a very easily winnable position.
I would argue that most of that round was won at the very beginning with the roam, as you saw. Being able to hold that top floor for a minute, fall off, retreat to the main floor, use some of those reinforcements inside of Strip. Quite unorthodox of a defense that we have seen on Clubhouse. Even when a team is defending bar and stock, or stock bar and stage as it's now referred to as, you see teams forgo Strip Club. They will reinforce the walls, but they don't actively play in it. So for TSM to make that choice, we saw the absolute punishment that they put on FaZe earlier today.
Yeah.
This is a TSM team that does not muck around. They are here to play.
That they are, and they have really been showing up so far today, but it is very early. I like this bomb site rotation, starting basement and going Gym. This is likely due to Maverick being open. Maverick just makes CCTV so hard to defend. I mean, we could even see a bar. TSM do play in NA where they do tend to not love the bomb site, but play it a bit more than other regions, perhaps.
Absolutely. Potentially 60 rounds, not including overtime. Sorry, let me tell you one thing. Unlimited overtime. Now you get to suffer through it as a caster, by the way, and I only use the word suffer lightly because unlimited overtime is awesome.
Yes.
But it means that these matches can go on indefinitely. Teams will be swapping sides back and forth. Unless you just are a more sound team, you're going to keep trading blows, and you can end up with a matchup going 17, 18 rounds. We saw the same thing happen in that FaZe versus NiP match in Sweden, in Gävle. Just a couple months ago, what was it, 17, 18 rounds between FaZe and NiP. Almost getting close to matching that same scoreline that we saw between your team and Empire on Coastline way back. So there, you're right, it's one round. There's a lot of rounds to go.
I'm just at close on spam, but Cypher finds the opening pick onto Achieved. That's now the Russians getting their first opening pick of this series so far. One to TSM, one to Empire.
Oh, there goes the Yana Merc again. Evasive as ever, but he gets tagged on the retreat down below inside a bar. I don't know if they're aware of his position. Another kill for Merc. How does he keep getting these? Nobody can stop this young man. Up towards Gym he goes. That leaves Bolo to hang out. Gets droned out on 2 occasions. 3 drones in the vicinity. Plenty of intel against Bolo. Still 7 drones up for Team Empire. A nice shot through the wall. A hell of a performance by Scyther. But there goes the Goyo shield as well, and some damage gets done to the ace with just over a minute left in the round.
The important thing to note is that Team Empire has only used 3 drones so far. They have 7 more to go. So meanwhile, TSM, they held on. Well, you trade 2 for 2, but Empire have somehow managed to gain all this information while not losing any drones in the process. And that wallbang right there from Cypher, that was due to having those drones alive. And the value that you bring is so clear. And Shepard, he wants more.
Oh my
nice shot.
God. What a absolute howitzer. Down goes Geo. Merc now with Nitro Cell in hand. He can derail this push with a well-timed explosive, but he has to rely on Empire pushing together. They have a numbers advantage in a 3v2, but both Chala and Merc have been good in the clutch before, as have Empire. And you've got some of the best players on Empire still upright. Their 2 main forces of Joystick and Dan not available, but that's okay. Sometimes Dan, he's known to have bad matches here on Clubhouse. What are you gonna do? 15 seconds to go, and now you know that the stack up is coming through this doorway. Chala's down for the count. A grenade gets tossed in. Merc deftly avoids it, but he's in so much trouble. 2 targets for him to collect, but he can't get either. And Empire answers back with a round of their own to tie the game.
Really good 2 versus 3 there from Empire. It was one person outside the windows, always on that hatch on office, and the diffuser came from construction. This means they could go in any direction they would like to and play off each other as they had that kind of 1-2-3 situation. Connector person can help the window player or go into office of the office player. The opening kill from Always at the end there opened it up into that 1 versus 3, which really just seals the deal. Merc here finds one, and then he found a second. Look there. Nice.
Nice shot.
Merc just seems to find these openings somehow. Oh, Scyther. And there we see, yep, Shepard.
That was just incredible.
Geo.
Absolutely incredible shot.
But that kill right there from Always, getting the kill into Charlie instead of Office, that's what really opens up the round in that 2 versus 3, because now you can just walk on in, it's just Merc alive, very low on health, has no C4, used it earlier on the window, didn't do any damage, and well, you can either just plant for free or overpower him with guns. And now we are indeed seeing the rotation that we spoke about last round. Will we see the bar next if Gym doesn't work? The answer is yes. Basement, Gym into bar. No CC available. And again, TSM, they want to play the map. Bar allows them to do so. And on the Gym, they did a good job at extending. Early aggression onto the CC side, opened up the walls, had multiple shields with that Goyo being available, but they didn't manage to come out on top. It was a 2-for-2 trade, which arguably favors the attackers here.
Well, look at this bomb site, Nick.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Or
is it beautiful?
Or not? It depends on how you look at it.
Is it beautiful?
If they win, it's amazing. If they lose, you're gonna hate it.
Would you like to talk to me about the win rate and play rate of this bomb site? Because it is the redheaded stepchild of all 4 bomb sites on this map. I might be a redheaded child, but I'm no stepchild, so I don't know what that feels like. Don't at me. But I will tell you that we have started to see a new resurgence, as this was once known as the 2nd best bomb site on Clubhouse prior to the rework.
Long time ago.
It was then a bad bomb site because you go upstairs to gym bedroom or cache, those were better. But now here on Barstock, teams are bringing it out more often.
Yeah, it's been played 25 times in 271 rounds, but the win rate actually isn't all that bad. It's better than CCTV, sitting at 48% win rate in favor of the defense. However, Clubhouse overall has a 55% win rate, so it's still down there. But it's one of those pocket picks where, well, you can bring it out of nowhere, and if teams are not as comfortable attacking against it, or if you just have a very fancy setup, it can actually skew those numbers a lot higher than what is 48% defensive win rate on the paper. We'll see how America deal with it. I mean, they're doing a cache over right now, similar attack as a Gym attack, where you roam over, you take the map control, but look at the timer. 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Half the rounds burned, 9 drones left for Empire. They have information, but now they also gotta find the entries.
Absolutely, and time now at the halfway point here. The teams will settle on down. Dan's still alive. Why does Dan seem to always have, I always seem to have bad performances on Clubhouse, with the exception of when they won in Milan. Dan doesn't seem, at least at this SI, to have the best performance on this map.
Oh, you spoke it into 60, Parker.
Gonna get worse.
How dare you.
Bolo on a nice shot upstairs in Gym. That weight room position so strong. And the one thing that the UMP has going for it is the thing's a laser beam. That sounded like a one-tap to down Always, by the way. What happened to him? There goes Shepard. Empire falling by the wayside. Always actually fell off the roof, by the way. So that single bullet we heard, not intended for Always, maybe intended for somebody else. An answer back as Merc is down for the count. Joystick sacrifices some HP to equalize, but there he goes to a Nitro cell by Achieve from below. Empire, with 30 seconds left, are unable to get into the bomb site, and now Scyther is the next one in line, as Always is completely unretrievable. There's no way Scyther's going to be able to... Oh, maybe, but look at the clock. By the time he gets to Always and gets him back up, there's only going to be 20 seconds left. How the hell are you going to be able to pull this one off? I appreciate what Empire is doing, but I don't think this is going to be doable. They're going to be there playing to die and will require one of the most absurd clutches we have ever seen. Where are they going to go? Inside a kitchen. Achieved here's both of them. Lining up, there's one, turns his back to buy time, and the clock ultimately gives the round to Empire despite them killing Achieved. Barstock goes in favor of the defense.
Even Achieved was like, there's no way they're both in kitchen, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And sure enough, Achieved, they were both inside of kitchen because of that unfortunate slip from the roof earlier that the sledge unfortunately had. Empire, they have this issue at times where they seem to get stuck. And if the enemy doesn't like give them the opening, which in this case was just, you know, at the opening kill going to favor of TSM. Bolo hitting the shot of Dan. That right there, this kill, boom. Empire completely stuck. Have no way in. There you see always slipping off the edge of the roof. Nobody can save him. The wall wasn't breached. It takes so long to rotate all the way outside the building. This C4 from Achieved, trading out Joystick when he found this kill, massive. That evens back the man count in favor of yourself because TSM, of course, had no idea that always slipped off the roof. Didn't know he was injured. They thought there was a 3 versus 3. And that just means that C4 in their head was even more impactful than we knew from the spectator point of view.
Well, obviously elation now from TSM, who they didn't have to play all that much earlier today. Fatigue is something that gets discussed when a best of 5 comes up.
And Dan did not like that when he died. That's unfortunate.
No, not at all. Fatigue plays a huge role in a best of 5, and even if it didn't go past 3 maps, that 22 map spectacle on Coastline between G2 and Empire. Empire players will tell you they did not recover from that.
Yeah.
That drained their will to go forward, and then ultimately Border and Bank fell, and that was it. That was the series. For teams that are more experienced, you know that endurance, and especially for teams that used to play at those old DreamHack events, where you'd be playing 9, 12 maps a day, an incredible amount. TSM could be potentially playing 7 maps today, which seems like a lot. But in all reality, teams are usually prepared for 2 best of 3s. What the hell is that, Bolo?
Always Sledges open the castle barricade, and then, well, Dan died. So it's like always try to do the right thing, but then it punishes his team.
Oh, you know what? I was wondering why Dan looks so familiar. He's in my favorite movie, Gladiator, Tiltimus Maximus.
Oh no, don't say that.
Tiltimus Maximus. Here's the goal. You tilt the hell out of him, that's it. Dan has been the first to die on 3 of the 4 rounds thus far, and you can tell that he must be frustrated by it. And his compadre, his comrade, Joystick, 2 of the most formidable players in the world, both are now down for the count, and there's still 2 minutes to go.
Joystick just walked, look at this. Joystick just walked on the main stairs before the Sledgehammer did the vertical play. They could have waited 20 seconds, always could have gotten in the building, done the vertical damage, then you walk down with support or a drone even. I'm not sure if they're getting inside their own heads or getting frustrated with themselves. But the player camps that we just saw when they lost the previous round, it looks like Team Empire in for a really bad mental game on their first map, which was their choice. That's really not good. Now we see again Empire not playing together, creeping around. Sure, there's a drone nowadays and always on the main stairs. It's some sort of crossfire. But Geo, he has the strip room completely readied up.
Once again, and this was about the time that they killed Geo before, so they've knocked Empire off stride more than in previous rounds. Now the question is, how much energy and utility do you expend on Geo? Because if you don't, you're going to have 2 players pushing the bomb site while Shepard escorts the diffuser in. Geo is going to be on flank, you know that. Scyther and Always will have to be watching flank while the other watches Shepard get the diffuser down. And guess what? There's still 4 players at TSM now unaccounted for, and that's trouble for Empire.
Yeah, I think if you're Empire, you just leave a drone, you hold the flank with that, you make a communicational call out because you need all 3 players active on the side of Empire. And that's what they've done so far, and Geo is slowly creeping up on the flank, not closing in yet, but this Toxic Babe is going to buy so much time.
Well, they create a hole, so TSM says we're going to use that as well. And out goes the Toxic Canister, and there's the flank, but Shepard handles it. Doesn't lose a single bit of HP, and the Geo flank that was looming large, now it's gone. TSM, though, they're still inside of the bomb site. They've got it working for them. Scyther down for the count. A 4v2 featuring TSM, still deeply protected. Both players on Empire. 15 seconds to go, and they say, you know what, bottom stairs, that's not going to work. Where are we going to go? Let's drop the hatches, but kitchen hatch is closed, so Shepard has to drop in, dies with diffuser and Moto, and Always, how about never? That is a 3rd round for TSM through the first 4 on Empire's map, and a stunning start for this North American team.
I have good news if you're Empire, though. Basement is now locked for the remainder of this map. TSM cannot go downstairs again, which means you just don't have to worry about it. You can completely ignore what happened in the past, look at each and every round in front of you, because every single round matters so much from Rainbow Six Siege. If somebody gets 7 rounds first, that's the map. And of course, if you go OT, you gotta get 8. You see this here, Always Sledge open the barricade, Dan held the angle, but Bolo somehow got the kill, and Dan once again, frustration as he's showing very physically. Then Joystick walks down the main stairs with no support, dies as well. Sure, nice shot from Shepard to shut down the Geo flank, but it doesn't matter. It's an impactless kill. What could be impactful just wasn't. The hatches were closed, there was no breach. The only thing that was opened up was Moto hatch, which funnily enough, the defenders opened themselves, I believe. So, Team Empire, They're getting stuck on the map. Time is ticking down. They got drones alive, but they're not progressing. They're not finding the openings. And now they gotta do it. Gym plus 1 bomb site. Could be bar, again, could be CC, but they gotta attack Gym first. Last time, they tried to do that roam clear from CC side, opened up the main breach, walked into server cache, cleared out. It was that 2-for-2 trade, so 3 versus 3, and then they progressed through and they traded back and forth. And ultimately, Team Empire ended up winning that round, but it was kind of close.
All right, well, Gym bedroom again, and we will say an awful lot about Team Empire over the course of this best of 5. Buckle up, by the way. It might be an exhilarating thrill ride so far.
Yeah.
It's probably only going to get better. That's how these things usually work. But when we talk about Team Empire, I feel like if you took a shot of the finest Russian vodka you could find, every single time you heard this following phrase, well, they would study you to see the human body's ability to ingest that much alcohol. Here's the phrase, Russian machine never breaks. And that is correct. Empire are so resilient when it comes to that mental game, Nick. They do not ever quit. They can pull off remarkable comebacks. We've seen it happen in Mexico. We've seen it happen in Raleigh. We even saw it happen on that coastline map, and we've seen it happen here. This team can never be counted out, and that is something that TSM will know. TSM will understand, we got them on the ropes. This is perfect. They can always bounce back.
Yeah, last time Empire was against a North American team that wasn't TSM, or at least like in their very opening game against Sonics, they were down really bad on Oregon. Sonics looked like they had the match, but what do you know? Empire brought it back like 6 or 7 rounds in a row, took it to OT, then won in OT 8-7. So they can make comebacks. We've seen it before. Now we see the drone actually missed Bolo, but the second drone falls in the Gemini, that is. In the beginning, Bolo almost got away with a sneaky play, but Empire, they ensure that this does not happen. And that's good for them because they need something to go well in that first minute of the round. Otherwise, it's going to be another one of those extremely frustrating situations as Joystick now makes his way through the garage, but 40 seconds has been spent and almost no ground has been made. Chief has the Score Shield and the Jammer inside of CCTV. That's their extension. That's where TSM wants to sit and fight. And you can argue Empire, vertical nades from down below can do a ton of damage. And last time they tried to do that, Merc got 2 kills. So Empire, what do you do?
Well, apparently what you do is you start from the top and move on over. And all of the bodies from Empire right now surrounding that cache part of this map. Achieve has already lost some of the wall, but he has an Electric Claw that can go up against the wall and potentially even one of the shields as well. We'll see exactly where the radius of that was.
Kite Claw actually did not go through. The Summer Charge exploded, that then killed the Claw, so the wall has been opened up. And that means 1 soft wall and 1 breached wall here. That means that TSM and Achieved have no cover inside of the cache.
That is pretty bad, but you've used at least half of the clock, and there goes a nice nade tossed out onto Achieved. At that point, you're playing to die in cache, Nick.
Yeah, look, Joystick creeps up, the flashbang, almost team flash, but not quite. Bolo reached the situation, but no, Joystick is just so much better in this position.
I imagine this will be a story moving forward. Joystick's ability to go toe-to-toe with that 3-pronged attack and that 3-pronged roam that we often see of Achieved, Bolo, and Merc. So a huge advantage for Empire in this round. Looking to keep it close on this Gym and Master take. They don't like going to CCTV cache on TSM's side of things. It's another attempt on a bomb site that TSM lost previously, and with just a little under a minute to go, they're not in great shape. It's a 5v3 for Team Empire.
Yeah, and they have to now close it out, right? Like, dude, last time 2 versus 3, now they gotta do it 5 versus 3. Same positions, always on the hatch. You got Dan and Scyther on the windows, with Shepard and Joystick inside of construction. So they got the ground covered, they got the positions. Now, well, they gotta do the execute.
And they know that they've got at least 1 player inside a garage, too. Nade goes out by Always. Merc evades it. They drop, but Merc has some problems with Shepard, as does Geo. Chala's inside of the bathroom. He's trapped. He's a goner. There's no way for him to get out. The wall's still closing in, and Nade goes in as well. Can he dance around that one? He can, but it's Dan the man to get the final kill. And how about a flawless round for Empire to try and keep this matchup close?
Yeah, they needed that, and this kind of shows the story that Empire, well, they get stuck back when things really don't go their way, because if they don't find the opening, it's all panic. It's all like, what are we gonna do? And that round, well, the nade got the opening, then Joystick walked up the staircase with a second guy behind him, Flashbang came out. It was a 50-50 gunfight, but even if Bolo had taken down Joystick, there was 2 more players from the side of Team Empire that had walked on up the staircase or into the red breach and then traded out regardless. So a really good job here. You see it there. Good entry. Shepard, same story in office. 2 players from Empire was inside the office with Joystick and Shepard together. So even if one person loses out the gunfight, there's a second person to follow it up. That's what Empire can do when they're in the man advantage. But when they're down in numbers, that's when they struggle the most. And TSM, they're gonna go back to bar. No CC will be had from the side of TSM on the first 6 defending rounds of Clubhouse. That's a first.
I gotta say, I think this is a moment that the desk will look back on with a bit of judgment, because I understand that there's a Maverick on the board. I understand that there's a Thatcher ban in play. I understand that Kaid is available and the Maverick is available and yada, yada, yada. There's going to be that whole juggling of the wall. But teams pull it off. Teams pull off a CCTV cache defense, even with these operator bans being present. So I have to wonder what TSM knows, and if they lose this round here and they emerge from the first half tied up with Empire, that the desk is going to say, well, why didn't you at least give a crack at CCTV and cache? Let's see, especially with Gym Bedroom, which the first time that Empire won it, I think there was a kill or 2 from TSM. Second time, no kills from TSM.
Yeah, it's true, and the thing is this, I agree with your statement about the Maverick being open, a Thatcher's banned, and therefore CC is bad, because I agree, when Maverick is open, CC sucks. But more so than just the bomb side preference, I think the way that TSM wants to approach this matchup against Team Empire, the way that they see themselves comfortable in the game, is when they can play the majority of the map. And CCTV as a bomb side, well, you're stuck inside the bomb side, waiting for them to breach the wall, then waiting for them to take garage, and then waiting to lose the round. On bar, you can go up above, extend out, take some gunfights, hold a certain area of the map, and make a decision on how to play dynamically, and that's how TSM wants to play. You can argue that Clubhouse might be the hardest map for them, because every other map in this series, well, they speak to more map control, and that's what TSM wants, and I think that's the key factor as to why they're going bar, not just once, but twice without going CC a single time.
Well, 1 minute and 45 seconds. First entry point is going to be over towards Gym before. TSM commanded this part of the map quite spectacularly. They also had control of this main stairs part, which again Geo is holding. It put that Team Empire spot that they had, wanting to go through construction, wanting to go through master, and then eventually getting kitchen in a very precarious position. And I don't know how Empire is going to be able to deal with that timing. There goes Joystick, by the way. A critical figure in the previous round, and now he's not going to be available. Drones are something that we've talked about an awful lot. Who's better at droning than Yana? And now you don't have that, and you don't have the nades as well.
You only have 3 drones left, so even normal drones are really starting to slim down. But that grenade, oh my days, catches Merc's heels, and that's a really good opening, but can they get more?
Oh, excuse me, Bolo. That's a pretty nice shot. Were he streaming, that would definitely go in a montage. That one wouldn't, though, by the way. Shepard outduels him. The support players of Empire showing up and showing up hard at the moment. They're going to need a bigger performance for Shepard. It's suddenly a 3v3. There's 40 seconds left. Top floor control now for Empire. You got to do the legwork and get down to that main floor, and maybe for the first time in this map, try to get a diffuser planted.
Can I argue that Bolo should have dropped the gym heads there and played the numbers 4v3 on site, but he went for that 50-50 gunfight, didn't go in his favor, and now we see the 3v3. The thing is, time is on the side of TSM with 20 seconds and Yokai drones alive. Empire, they have to make a move really quickly, and they haven't even cleared strip yet, they don't even have any drones for it. 50-50 gunfight, Dan, can you do this? Can you get your team back in the advantage?
There's a flash that goes out, and Dan doesn't seem to find it. There's Chaladon as well. Achieved gunning down onto Always. Shepard with the diffuser down. They need to call into action, and suddenly Achieved comes to the rescue and stops them both at the last second.
It tried to body block the bullet.
I understand what you're trying to do, but damn, it didn't work, and TSM take the first half 4-2.
Again, frustrating round for Empire. Really slow in the early stages of the map. I'm not sure if they're fearing TSM possibly hiding in any corner possible, or if TSM are just doing that good of a job at slowing you down, but you had so many drones alive throughout the round. I mean, it was at the point of 1 minute, you had 5 drones left, and then, well, what did you do in the beginning? I don't know. Bolo here got the kill, could have up the hatch, went for that gunfight here. Shepard wins it out, and that gave Empire a chance to win. And with this kill from Shepard dropping down around that hatch that cleared off Dan as well. Playing that 2v1 as Empire's been doing so well so far. But this wall bang off the yellow ping, the Yokai most likely giving that information as the bar default can't quite see the exact position. That closes out the round with a wall bang of all things. Even though they tried to body block the bullets, it didn't work. 4-2 now. And Empire, they gotta get off to a strong start. Going down the basement just like TSM did with a, I want to say similar but a different approach because Dan is like roaming above, but they don't have a cast or anything else. So I don't think it's a full roam.
All right, tail of the tape for the first half. Nick, if I may, obviously you see on the scoreline TSM prevailed 4-2. Defender-sided clubhouses are not outside of the norm. But beyond that, TSM got 4 opening picks. Guess which rounds they came in? All 4 they won. There you go. I'll answer it for you.
All 4 they won.
I know you were prepping for the second half, and I caught you off guard. Haha, I bamboozled you. I have the upper hand. Team Empire's got those got 2 opening picks as well. Guess which rounds those were in?
The ones they won.
There you go. So
Wow.
if you get the opening pick, you have a 100% conversion rate. Only one flawless round. That was Team Empire back in round 5. No diffusers planted.
Nope.
Close. On 3 rounds, close. But that was it. Close as no cigar. Doesn't really matter. Now we go to the second half. Also, both teams have their timeouts available.
Yeah. 55% defensive win rate across, the average of Clubhouse. So a little bit of favor on the defensive side. Empire can be very happy about that statistic because they need their favor to go in their way right now. Dan is actually doing that roam game, always in Joystick as well, playing on that blue stairs. Joystick actually opting to go up to top floor, can kill this drone, possibly then fall back because you don't want to be all alone up here. But what a nice shot. That's Bolo shot down, and Joystick, he just plays this position so well. It's something he was very early on recognized for in his career, how he roams alone on a map like Clubhouse. Team Empire used to have these strats that only relies on 4 people being alive, so Joystick could just go and do whatever. Dan follows up with a C4 in his hand. He cannot fight back, cannot shoot back. That's an easy picking for Merc. Tied back to 4-4.
Well, again, going with this conversion rate, Nick, this does bode well for Empire, but there's still more to be done. Same panel opened up over top of the reinforcements inside of Church. If you're an attacker, you want to use that to drop a nade in. If you're a defender, maybe a nitro cellotoxic canister awaits you at the bottom of those stairs for the attackers. So something to see. Always has the lineup ready. Knows exactly where that nitro cell is going to go. That is a very tricky throw for a lot of teams, but they will go in and practice it. And because of that, you don't need to fear it all too much. TSM now getting the hatches open. There's a minute left in their very first round on attack. Team Empire can sit pretty. They desperately need a round here. If TSM can take their very first attack, I fear for Empire for the remainder of this map. And the analysts all seem to be united. They said, Empire, have to make this one click.
It worked.
There you go. The toss from Always on to Merc. Bottom of the main stairs. Empire now with the upper hand and the lead in numbers.
Interesting enough, Geo right now is going for the blue hatch, but a call has been made to rotate over. Cypher has 1 impact grenade left. If he can deny the breach on the kitchen hatch here, that could single-handedly win Team Empire the round, but Cypher has moved into dirt. He's not in a position to deny it. That means the hatch will get opened up, and TSM, they have to act upon kitchen. That's all they really have.
This is a well-timed smoke that'll do some damage to Chala. 1 still remains with 15 seconds to go. TSM barreling into the bomb site. A drop. There goes Geo. Achieved, taking a lot of damage. All of them are going to drop. Are they going to take any damage? Yes, there goes Achieved. Chala now next one in a 1v3 with Diffuser. He has to find them. He sees them. Unable to convert. Joystick the kill. Empire get their very first defense. The gap closes between the 2 teams to a single round.
Similar stories as well, right? Because TSM, they went basement, did that kind of roam game. They got the opening pick, they got the round. Well, Empire, they go defense, they do a not like a full roam, it was a joystick roam. He got the opening pick, they win the round. And the same issue for both teams is the time, the clock, the resources. There was 1 exothermic charge left available. They chose to use it on the kitchen hatch, even though Geo had spent 20 seconds running towards the blue hatch. At the last second, as he pulled out the gadget, they changed their mind. The call had been made, but no time was there. 20 seconds, you gotta go. This C4 right there, ton of value. That is such a huge pick for Team Empire. It's the ace off the board. No hard reach from the side of TSM, and that made their lives so much harder. Flash, nade, drop, def, joystick, got the first pick, and got the last one here with that double, making that a triple across the board for him. And joystick looking really good, as he has been throughout this Invitational so far.
Well, you need some motivation. You need to get back in it. Again, the mental composure of Team Empire it always looks flat. It's very flat neutral.
It's the same thing. Excitement, anger, disappointment. It's the same face usually. And you know what? They fist bump even on lost rounds because they do keep up their energy, their momentum, their vibes, if you will. And it really is important, like you mentioned earlier, that you don't tilt yourself out of a series or out of a map. As long as you think you're in it, you will still be fighting as if you were. And the moment you think it's lost, that's really when you start losing for real. And one round, while it has a lot of impact, it does not mean a win or a loss unless you are a match point. So you gotta stay in it all the way through.
Lots of bullets now from the LMGs as you hear rattling away. The rat-a-tat-taz, we've been talking about it. Bolo has already used 60 bullets, 55 to be exact. Yes, if you don't play Zofia LMG, I would like to invite you to do just that, by the way. 150 bullets before you need to reload. Very limited recoil as well. Were you born with wrists? No? Well, then you can probably still control it. I mean, if you watch my own gameplay, sometimes it looks like I wasn't born with wrists either because my recoil control is abysmal. As we talk about this, 45 seconds burned. This is Dan roaming on the main floor, and not for long, because Bolo sends him to the Shadow Realm. A gym and bedroom defense. Again, we are now 8 rounds in, no cash CCTV defense yet for any of these teams, and immediately TSM get that very first pick. Dan is 1-6. He's going to be unhappy about that.
This is what happens when you want to do like a joystick impression, but you're not joystick. For anyone watching at home being like, oh, I could do that too in ranked, you try it out, you get slapped in the first minute of the round, and that's what happened. Dan now 1-6, another struggling round for him, hasn't really found his footing, and it really is unfortunate because, as you said, Parker, this is just the map where Dan typically struggles.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the eyesight test. I don't have any stats to back it up. I have not been able to pull all of the numbers involving Dan on Clubhouse, but just from all the matches that I've seen and casted of Empire, it seems like Dan always has quite a bad performance on this map, despite the fact that this is such a good map for Empire. So if Dan ever does wake up, that's it, it's over. Speaking of over, round, far from it. 1 minute to go.
Vertical being used from TSM. They went down to the bar, but Chala has just walked into the breach, and Empire have no idea that's happening.
They don't know he's in here. If there's no intel, waiting for the cross from construction, they've boxed them out. Both Chala and Merc are in there. The alarm bells will sound for Empire, and a diffuser plant is very within reach. Still covering is Chala, lighting up Shepard, but he gets out-dueled. Geo, in the meantime, diffuser down, and Empire will now scramble the very first successful execute, and TSM's guns are hitting their targets. Always in Scyther, off-site, boxed out, always swinging for the fences. He gets one, but he's traded out right away, and TSM take their 5th round.
Reading the map very well are TSM. They went down below bar, did the vertical clear with the Sophia, with the grenades, and while that was happening, I assumed they were droning out the bomb site from the Jacuzzi breach, and once they realized it was clear, well, Gio and Chala walked on in hand. No player from Empire inside of bathroom or inside of gym, and not even inside of Master itself, playing so far back in construction and inside office, had to retake once the planet went down. This opening kill from Bolo, that just really set the tone, because ever since that moment, Empire played almost scared. Body block strategy 2.0 this time kind of worked out because they had no idea they were planting, no information available to Empire. The Valkyrie's banned, they're not playing Maestro. I don't believe they had no bulletproof cameras either, so they only really have what they're face checking, and they aren't face checking much. Dan tried his hardest, but that's not enough in this situation. You gotta play more together if you're Team Empire. Roam with the duos that if there is an issue on the roam game, you can trade it out, or at least try and find something else, because if you're just dying for nothing, well, sometimes you just play 5 versus 4.
All timeouts still available, by the way. I almost called them team-outs.
Team-outs.
Team-outs, timeouts, I mean, they're basically the same thing. Nick, it's happening.
We're seeing CCTV for the first time on round 9.
It's happening.
That's a world first, I have to say. I don't care about statistics because, again, I don't have them either. But from my memory, I've never seen a situation where it took us 9 rounds to get CCTV.
I like that you said world first, because it reminds me of, I think it's the Game Awards. Whenever they show a brand new game or a new premiere, they'll go world first.
Every time.
Every single time.
I mean, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, there's a world first a lot of things, but if you want to be like, you know, more like top-down level.
I mean, 2 bar stocks from a team in a grand finals could be a world first. Nice shot from Dan, by the way.
And getting opening kill, that might be a world first in Clubhouse.
Dan wearing the skin of his enemies against Evil Geniuses. This is the map upon which Empire, and in Dan's very first international event, the team won their first international tournament, if you recall, all the way back in 2019. They would then go on to win the Raleigh Major over some insignificant team that they beat, some chumps.
Very true.
In the finals, if you'll recall.
Very true.
Dan is the EG skin on the MP5 and will continue to roam downstairs as the best statistical performer from TSM today. Achieved no more. That's a Sledge who doesn't have access to nades. That's tricky on a bomb site like Cache CCTV, especially with the way that teams like TSM like to throw those nades through the floor and get picks on the unsuspecting defenders.
Yeah, if you're TSM right now, I'd heavily advise or suggest that you go to master bedroom now and do a double clear because you only have 2 grenades. And if this grenade can get a kill, nope, it cannot. Now you gotta clear 2 catwalk players with a single grenade to your name. Actually, Shepard jumps down 1 catwalk player of always, but only 1 grenade to your name. It's really limited utility.
Always just saw the legs of the Maverick, by the way, so he knows that there's somebody out there. There's also a shadow that gets cast from the position that the Maverick is in. They knew he was there, but they can't capitalize. Merc is in the middle of the bomb site, by the way. TSM love to do this. Will he see one of the defenders? Catwalk, clear. They know that. There goes Dan to take out Merc, still roaming. Merc's attention was in the wrong spot. Empire with the upper hand at the moment in a 4v3. Still plenty of time for both of these teams to work it out. But Joystick has reassumed his position down below inside of Garage. And this can be the difference maker in the round. If TSM don't have intel, there you go. Joystick can do some damage. He does it on a bolo, trade it out. And they're swinging back and forth. Peek or be peeked, swing or be swung. Leaving Chala upstairs on the roof to last the remaining 35 seconds. We don't know how long it's gonna be, but Empire need to watch a single doorway, a single breach, and a single window. Guess what? There's 3 of them. They can do that. This round is over for TSM, barring a miracle from Chala.
Unless? Oh, they're running away. There's no fight.
They don't want to take the engagement. Why bother? You have the bomb site working for you, especially that they know he's in there. Chala suspects that there's somebody holding a default spot, and he gets pokeballed. You gotta catch them all. Start with Chala, why not? 150 more to go. Empire pick up their 4th round. We got ourselves a ball game, as these 2 teams are so close in action.
Yeah, Empire looking a lot better on their defensive side. Actually, that round in particular, they played so much more together. 2 players inside of Catwalk itself, 2 people swinging the breach, trying to find isolated targets from the side of TSM. Dan got the opening pick and another one to follow as well. So looking a lot better for him. He's now arguably in the game, activated and everything else. You saw it here, Dan won the opening. Always, he did not hold the Catwalk. He actually ended up falling. Then Merc was inside the bomb site. TSM could not follow up, and Dan found an absolute freebie on top of him as well. Then Joystick retook Garage from the first floor, got one, traded back instantly here by Dan as well. And then, well, then it's difficult. Then you just got Chala left all alone, but very little health to his name, no grenades, and he gets, yeah, pokeballed, if you will. And look, the lack of smiles on their faces, they are ice cold.
They're never happy, though.
They're never happy.
If you are working for the best law enforcement agency in the world, and you are looking at any of the 5 players on Team Empire and trying to get them to crack, to learn something about their posture and their body language, impossible. You can't do it. It's simply not doable. So, Empire, as we've talked about time and time again, they have ice in their veins.
Yep.
They never give up. They never break. And even if they do, they come back in the next map just as formidable and ferocious as they were before. TSM are a team who aren't really known to have mental struggles of their own. They've got a pretty affable behavior, you know, the affable set of players. They're quite nice and genuine.
Quite
and they like
nice.
They are. They like to joke around.
Yeah,
so
quite nice.
They can easily look.
Looking.
I mean, if you got nice teammates, you can keep it in. We're all talking about vibes.
Having a good time.
Teams love to talk about vibes.
Oh, the vibes are high with TSM. Looking pretty good with that as well. And Dan actually bringing out a staple sixth pick from the side of Empire, pocket pick, if you will, the Capcan. Something that in this particular matchup might bode well because it is a basement roam game, and the time was quite low from the side of TSM last time. You saw Merc out there just taking left and right from the door frame, making sure that there are no Capcan traps indeed. So they know about this pick, they know it's on the board, they've confirmed it. It might still gain some value, and this, oh, Merc creeps down the main stairs, doesn't see it, and then he hears him this time, doesn't take the gunfight. Or last time he lost Joystick, doing his best impression of standing still like a statue, and Bolo, he falls for it, doesn't see him. Easy pickings again for Joystick.
I'd like to once again reference that conversion stat that we talked about at the tail end of the first half, because now 4 rounds into the second half, it has not changed. The team that gets the first pick has gone on to win the round 100% of the time. For Team Empire, this means a tie game unless things go really sideways for you.
And you see Empire, they're actually all falling back to the bomb side. They recognize the same thing as we have. They have the advantage. They didn't burn so much time. There's 4 drones left for TSM. Half the round, shotgun bottom main. Doesn't find the drone with the first shot, but doesn't the second. Now, you just wait. Shepard, you might want to fall back here, have somebody else help you. Dan did hold the angle as well for the refrag, and that's really good because once you have the advantage, you really gotta hold on. TSM, they have 3 Selmas and 2 exothermic charges. They even have the Maverick Torch. They can open up any wall and any hatch. But they got a minute to do so. Vertical Blade in kitchen, we need a Chief to rotate over. He's quite far away right now. And Geo needs the hammer before he can start opening up the hatch because there's a Kite Claw. So that grenade is now required. Break open the floor, deny the angles. 1 impact from Shepard, who can try and contest this breach as well if they try and open up the hatch.
In position to do just that, as you talked about. Scyther being the one with that single impact and won't use it, it looks like. No, it'll be the hatch opened up now for TSM.
Prepped C4 on the ground, actually. So if they read the situation correctly, Achieved could be in for a bad time.
Oh, I was actually wrong. That was the other hatch that went off. The one inside a kitchen still there, and there's the nitro cell tossed out so well. Geo blows up sky high, scattered into thousands of pieces inside of the kitchen, just as it seems like the hopes of TSM in this round. Could it be the dawn of another flawless round for Empire? They had one earlier in round 5. They're looking for another, choking out Merc and Achieved. In goes Merc. Both players on TSM softened up. Merc down for the count, leaving it all to Achieved, and he's just gonna sit and wait miles away. It's technically a flawless round, but they only killed 4 of them. Empire tie it up, 5 rounds apiece.
And Empire looking alive on their defensive side, and TSM at the exact same position as Empire were, struggling on the entries, struggling on clearing the map quick enough to have time to do the execute. And not even that, but once it looked quite good for TSM, well, that pre-play C4 that was put there 30 seconds earlier, it actually ended up getting a kill. Here we see Joystick getting that easy early pick, always with the prep C4 into Geo. That's the thermite off the board. Always another easy one because Chala had a grenade in his hand, could not fight back, and always had a triple kill that round. I will argue that was a flawless round as well, because they played it as it would be.
What do you think the key focus for TSM is? What's their main struggle that you've witnessed so far through these 4 executes that have come up short 3 of the times?
So there were the 2 things, right? The entry alone, they just haven't found them. Since the side swap, TSM have only gotten the opening pick 1 time. That was on round 8. That was the last time they attacked on the German side like they are just now. And the other one is simply just down to execution, right? Because the time is so low. I like the 6th pick from Bolo going from Sophia onto the Flourish. You get 4 more drone, the Retero drones, and they explode, which means verticality, clear positions, destroy utility, etc. And on the side of Empire, well, they were struggling with information, right? And they were actually hovering the Maestro from Shepard, who then 6-pick onto a Yokai. So both teams have done the adaptive work here. They've said we had an issue, and now this is how we're gonna try and fix it. And I really like the approach from both teams. Now it comes down to, well, how does the opening kill, that first kill, how does that play out? Because it's played such a pivotal role so far. It's Dan and Joystick on the side of Empire doing that early round shenanigans, and it's Merc and Bolo from the side of TSM so far. Achieved has been in opening kills, but mostly, or the one time at least, he didn't find any success. And Joystick doing the same things before, roaming 1 floor below or 1 floor over from the bomb site, trying to find drones, trying to slow down TSM, and most importantly, trying to get into a gunfight.
All right, well, 30 seconds off of the clock. Upstairs, now this defense, as we talked about. Back over on Jim. Set the scene for us. Roam from Empire, but not over on Cash side, it appears.
Nope, just 1 floor below his Joystick. It's a pretty passive approach, so there is a roam, but it's not the typical one. It's not an extension, if you will.
Teams like to play from down below. Hatch has opened up as well. Empire are going to play for time here. They're not going to play for much else.
Vertical here, nice.
This is a nice play from Dan. He's downstairs next to the pool table. You can look up through the doorway, and if anybody walks right in, it's easy for TSM to get a plant down. This was the main struggle on this bomb site last time. TSM opened up jacuzzi wall and walked into weight room. Nobody from Empire was looking in that direction. That was a major problem. Empire have fixed that now. They've changed up their strategy. But will this potential roam down below open up other blind spots for TSM?
Comes down to the gunfights, right? Because right now, TSM are mostly on the Cash CC side with just Merc here on Jacuzzi all alone. So that's an isolated target Empire could abuse if they so choose to. And these one might this will catch one summon charge, but not the second. I don't think there's a jam on the wall because an Impact comes out trying to deny it, and it did so successfully. But Merc, well, he has more to go. Actually, that was the last one. I take it back. He has no more to go.
That was well played. And now TSM are not going to be able to get into that bathroom wall as we discussed. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Take a deep breath with us. So, Joystick with 1.5. Sight was looking for a kill hold down in dirt. He misses an opportunity to take out Merc. Now TSM are in a bit of a struggle. They don't know where to go, but Scyther, felled by Achieved. Again, this conversion rate. We will talk about it before. You get the first pick, you get the round. That's the way it's gone. It's Empire now to try and make sure that doesn't happen. But Bolo has that blind spot to exploit, as we talked about. 30 seconds to go. Gio was able to get the diffuser down on Jim before. He looks set to do it again. All of a sudden, we see Merc walking backwards, but Bolo picks up kill number 2 as the diffuser gets planted. Chaos in the midst of the bomb site, leaving Joystick in a 1v4. He's got pings. They know whereabouts they might be, but can he find all of them? Almost falls through the hatch, but he does that deliberately. Now vaults out, but Achieved shuts him down, and it's TSM on match point on Empire's map.
So the one thing that's really confusing to me is that Empire, they had this yokai with information. They knew pretty much every single location of TSM, then used the impacts earlier on in the round, then ran away from the bar, meaning nobody was down below to actually watch those vertical holes. And more importantly, well, if you had saved the impacts or a C4 and played inside a bar, which you had full control of, by the way, TSM did not contest it, well, you can deny the plan for free. The Yokai drones were giving yellow ping information. Scyther here swung unnecessarily. Then Bolo hears the fact that Always is running away, gets the timing advantage, and Shepard, the only kill they found for his team was via that Yokai drone. That's not enough. So Empire, it looked really good in the beginning for the setup, but the execution of their strategy really fell short, and TSM will win their second attack, both having been on Jim. And Team Empire, they're gonna try and bring it to OT on CCTV. No bar from them. I'm gonna keep going, but first you gotta see them fist bombs. Woo! There it is. Note that these holes in the wall that we see, it's for the Maverick. It makes it more difficult to torch out the wall, and then you want to put like a jammer on it, and then they gotta try and, you know, deal with that. It's gonna slow them down about 10 seconds maybe. Not a huge deal breaker, but every second does count, so it's just about an efficiency value, if you will.
One thing that we do want to talk about to those of you that watch is that, especially at an Invitational, when we have the most eyes on this esport of the entire year, is that many of you might be new to the game. For those of you that aren't new to the game, we're not trying to be patronizing, we promise. But you will see things that you kind of go, well, I don't really understand that. Who better to talk about that than a two-time back-to-back world champion? And I know that you don't need to be a two-time world champion. You don't even need to be a back-to-back world champion in order to know how to do some of these things, but it's nice wisdom to impart. If you're playing in a ranked match, a casual match, and you want to get real sweaty, we're talking moving your computer into a sauna. We're talking multiple towels around you to absorb all that sweat. Like when John Cena wears like 19 armbands. Shoot some holes in the wall, reinforce it. It makes Maverick's job a lot harder, and it makes you safer as a defender, because then you can shoot through it if a Maverick tries to cut through the wall.
It's very true. And there are some things that even I, or even anybody for that matter, really knows. Like, sometimes you're just going, huh? What happened? And, well, they dealt with it differently. It was an upside-down rappel. They cleared out the jammer, breached the wall. That's going to do the same job as doing it on a regular breach, because the thermite exothermite charges does such a big hole in the breach, and they can make use of that. And TSM looking to be set up the exact same way, wanting to attack directly from that CC breach. Nobody's garage door, nobody's on the roof. They want to open up all the angles that they can as possible, but there's a jammer on this catwalk rafter's wall, so the breach does not go through. I don't think they can just run in the breach here. That's a little bit of wishful thinking if you're TSM, so you gotta start making the next move. That should be Garage looking at the situation here, the time and whatnot, but Joystick has so much confidence, just peeks the Garage door. How can you do this, Joystick?
And he gets traded back immediately, but still that first blow goes in favor of Empire. Garage control's not been wrestled away from them. They've got the Kaid up top. Always will sit there, govern over the doorways that lead in and the explosion that opened up the breach below him. Always could be prime fodder for a grenade if it gets tossed up. But he's sitting on some ADSs near the telltale sign, and there's also magnets there as well. He was successful in this duel on the doorway before. His second time a charm. This is a reflex test, and Merc has got to have some of the finest reflexes. Geo's down below. You got to bait him out.
Yep. They're waiting for the nades. Achieve it now here. So flashbangs on Geo, nades on Achieve. They're going to have to make it work together.
Oh, what a shot from Always. A second as well. They're not quick enough. He gets blown up, but it's so worth it for Always up top on those Raptors.
He comes out on top for sure. Getting 2 picks in that position is so vital. This nade is so vital as well, because if it can find something, it cannot. That's going to make it so much harder for TSM to finish up this round.
And look at Empire. They vacated the bomb site. They might decide now with 20 seconds to go, we got to get back in there. But you've got the luxury of time. These 2 remaining members of TSM have 10 seconds to pull this off. Geo with the plant down. It means Achieved will have to watch the cross, taking some damage. He's been phenomenal today. There's Geo to frag out, but they lose it. Geo with 2 big kills. There's only 1 left, and he's going to be immobile. They swing him, and Empire plays the clock masterfully. We're going to potentially unlimited overtime here on map number 1.
I just want to point out, if that single wall into construction was soft or not reinforced, that's over. Somehow TSM would have likely won that round with that wall bang, but the wall was reinforced. The last player of Empire was outside the building, jumped back in, he was spotted out. What a nice try for TSM, finding that opening. Geo walking in through the breach, that's the smoke off the board. It allows the clutch potential, but here on early on, where it really defined the round was this trade back and forth, but then the Always on the catwalk rafters, really good pick onto Merc. The second one here is just a butter on top, because he should not get away with 2 kills, and yes, the nade comes out, good flashbang coordination there from TSM, but the damage has already been done, and well, you just can't really find any footing to plant with.
Honestly, how different is that round if Geo holds the plant and Achieve just simply wins his gunfight? How different does that round end up turning out? Either way, no matter who prevails here on map 1, we wanted a show. We asked for a show.
We did.
We didn't get it in TSM versus FaZe, unless you're a TSM fan, and then that was one hell of a show. But here, we wanted it, and we're getting it. I'd like to remind you, unlimited overtime. You need to win by 2 rounds.
Yep.
That is the number. So the teams will continue to go back and forth on sides. TSM on defense starting off. They'll defend twice, and that could be the knockout blow.
Yep. That's how it works. And I'm really glad we're not on Coastline. This is Clubhouse. It's a different ball game if we do get to see this craziness of infinite OT. TSM will do the thing they started off with when they're on the defense, the basement roam game, right? That's the castle, that's the poles. They get information that the kite close to slow down the attackers if they make it close to the building. And now, same story as always. Empire, they have to roam clear. They're doing it so much faster this time around than TSM themselves, playing a little bit more passive. This is the factor of overtime. There is more pressure on these teams now than there were last round. Sure, match point for one team, that's a huge deal. But overtime usually means no mistakes are allowed. However, in Infinite OT, you are allowed 1 mistake as long as you can close up the prior or the next round, because you can just go forever. Whoever finds the momentum for 2 rounds in a row, well, they'll get the map. It's been a back and forth so far. The attacking side has not done so good, and Joystick doesn't get the opening pick. In fact, no one even takes damage. It's Merc inside a bar, doing the same thing he did the first time around, holding down the ground with Geo inside a strip room, but Merc is now falling off, leaving Geo all alone. And Empire, they've dealt with this twice. Do they leave him there? Do they just trade out 1 player and hold him stuck, make that a 4 versus 4? Do you leave a flank drone, or do you just say, you know what, let's attack strip, let's clear out Geo and play the 5v4? 3 options from Team Empire. We'll have to make a decision soon because time is ticking down.
Nades primed and ready as we hit the halfway mark, and there it goes, down another one as well. I don't know if it got it, by the way. Yeah,
they got it.
Finally got it. It took 2 nades all the way down into Moto to get that bulletproof, but they finally do it. Job well done. But still, that's quite a bit of utility expended on a single bulletproof. You could have saved yourself the trouble and got it on the very first nade. Conversion rate still holds as we're now in overtime. This is round number 13. You get the first pick, you win the round, still at 100%.
So Cypher's actually holding Geo stuck in strip, but Chala gets the opening pick. That's Stursik off the board with no follow-up. He's all alone inside that blue push, trying to get really quickly into side, trying to open up the round, but they get shut down in their face by Chala. That now means with that flanker of Geo up above, it's not going to be easy because you're getting people all around you if you're Empire.
Geo under fire again in Strip Club, but he's lasted so much longer. His flank was unsuccessful last time. Are we going to see something different? No. Scyther says that's quite enough. No more games for you.
Some damage though. Half health onto Cypher, a little bit off always. That's okay, but with 20 seconds left, you need more than just damage, you need kills.
And on top of that, you've got 2 toxic canisters to soften up the remainder of these players. Now it's Shepard to take quite a bit of damage. Merc down below. It's the upper hand in favor of Empire, but Merc swings. Shepard now as well. It's Merc coming through on the flank. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching for Merc. What a monstrous clutch from Merc. TSM on match point.
Merc reads the situation perfectly. He understands that Empire are pushing on through into bomb side. They're not going to be watching their flank. Their drones are scattered all across the map if they are even alive. There was one drone inside a moto door. Merc himself looked at it, but it wasn't active. Team Empire had no idea this was coming. And even though Empire cleared out blue and made their way to the bomb side, that's not enough. You need to secure the diffuser if you want to win these rounds. And that doesn't happen. TSM, they take the first round in OT, and the side swap is coming through. Can they do the same thing on attack? Can Empire do the same thing as TSM and hold on? Chala, beautiful opening kill. Really swayed things in their favor. Geo got shot down on the flank on that roam, but Merc here, he even got the kill bottom main. Empire should actually have had a decent idea that this was happening. And with 6 seconds left, you can argue, do you plant? You have 6 more seconds to figure out if the gun should be up. And you went for the easy choice.
The thing that gets me is that they knew that Merc was coming. Merc goes through the area where every single pulse is going to play on this map. Every pulse. I see that pulse in gold, for crying out loud. You know there's going to be a pulse there. Teams call it pulse spot, for God's sake. They know that Merc is coming. Was it bad comms? Was it simply somebody not doing their job? What was the issue that prevented Empire from knowing that the flank was coming in?
I think it's just the chaos, right? There's so much happening, and I think it's the same reason why they're planting with 6 seconds left. There's just so much going on that you're just defaulting to the simple solution. Plant and pray that your teammate will cover you properly. But in a 2 versus 1, you cannot cover both angles, and TSM, they swung together. Either Merc gets the opening, or the cover has to turn all the way around and leave his back exposed. It's well played from them. Well, we'll never know what happened if they didn't plan. We cannot go back in time. What happened, happened. Now the side swap is through. TSM holding angles here early on, not risking that opening kill. They wanted to go in their favor, droning out the top floor right now while Joystick's in the basement, holding that catwalk walk up. So if TSM want to try and clear via the catwalk itself, they'll get shut down. But TSM, joke's on you. They're going in from Jacuzzi side instead.
Conversion rate still remains the same. I feel like now I'm going to keep saying it. Every single time it shows up, I apologize if you're playing a drinking game of water. Water.
Water?
Water, respectively. Say water respectfully, as I said. You only drink that.
Hydrate. It's important.
You gotta hydrate.
Good for you.
We drink tea.
Look at this. Oh,
wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Oh, there we go. Bolo runs right in. They don't know that on a basement defense, that Joystick is holding map control in Garage. Empire get the first pick.
The thing is, I think he climbed the ladder while we're spectating Merc because he was in the basement earlier. He waited for the drone to go past, climbed the ladder, was going to go for a flank top floor, but at the same time, Bolo got off the drone. Of course, Joystick heard that, turned around and found the pick. And that's going to feel really bad if it's TSM because you're like, oh, we droned it. It was clear what happened. Joystick happened. Well read from him. That now gives us that opening kill. Can they convert it into the round or will TSM break the curse?
Yep, that is going to be a number that we continue to reference, at least on this map. things might change on Cafe. TSM's map up next, no matter what happens here. How nice it would be for the North American fans to see the team that made it in through the qualifiers, by the way, succeed. Yes, that's correct. You heard this. If it wasn't for the qualifiers, TSM wouldn't be in the grand final right now. They made it to the upper bracket grand final, and now they're here as well. Nitro Cell goes off, but it misses. Chala taking a portion of damage, but not really all that much. Empire scrambling to keep this church wall closed.
This is really good, by the way. Achieved, in the meantime, has made vertical play inside of Kitchen, denying that back B position, allowing Chala and Merc to work off this breach. But this is not too good because Always has the angle on lockdown. Last Toxic Babe has come out with 30 seconds left. TSM, they can actually stall and wait.
And Chala takes some damage, but down goes Always. These are tight rat angles being held by Empire. Very advantageous spots to be in. They're going to come to blows very quickly. Not a lot of time for Gio to go in. They still don't know that Shepard's in here. Wait a minute, they do! They have control of Church, and on a prayer, TSM need 2 more, make that 1. Joystick, he does joystick things. Is he going to do it? Diffuser down. This is dire straits for the Russian team, knowing that the match could be over, or the map could be over if Joystick doesn't pull out ahead. He has a single bit of HP, and Chala says, no you don't! TSM steal Empire's map away, and they take Clubhouse.
That's Gio right there, vaulting through the breach, finding the kill of Shepard, who was hiding, waiting, lurking with the shotgun SMG-11. He could have killed all members of TSM, but Gio hits the craziest